What's up everybody, it's Jake here. Just got home from fall tour. It is Tuesday actually, and I haven't done a recap for the third night of Charleston yet, so I'm gonna shoot that right now. I just walked in the door maybe 20 minutes ago, and drove all the way up from South Carolina over like 2 days or so. So definitely still have the wook flu. It's like peak wook flu at the moment, so part of my voice, but we'll get into what happened on Sunday. We'll just go right there. So Sunday, got to the lots pretty early. Got there at about 3 p.m. I parked over next to the vendors on like where the shakedown is basically. So got there early, spent all day on lot. I'd gotten there and just immediately grabbed my camera, went out and started talking to vendors, people walking around. Got some shots of just the scene, interviews of vendors before a lot of people showed up. It was kind of like the calm before the storm. So it was really great because there's no pressure day. I had all day to be there. I got a fair amount of footage the day before, and today is just like the bonus, like anything I could cover, anything and everything I did, and it was awesome. It was, I think, the best day of shooting the entire tour because I'd been there so early. Everyone was in one location, basically just walked around shakedown all day. Walked up to 5 or 6 rows, zigzagged around, ran into a bunch of people I'd already met, hung out with them for a little bit, just, you know, got good and ready for the show. A lot of interesting people were there Sunday. I got like a lot of different groups and types of people and all that covered on Sunday. I got some Phish chicks, which is awesome. I got a little lot dog coverage. Met with someone who was in the fellowship. Ran into a 9-year-old kid and his dad. They were there. His dad said it was cool if I did an interview with him. Tied the whole tour footage together of loose ends I hadn't gotten. It was just a great way to end the tour from a videography standpoint. It's a nice cap. Very good day. So nothing too eventful happened on lot other than just another fun, great all day on lot, and just met a bunch of people. And then I went into the show at about 7:30. Actually, no, there was one kind of fun story that happened with this. Before I went into the show, I was kind of walking back to my car and I saw these 2 kids kind of hanging out at their car. You know, they were selling like waters for $1 or whatever. Just kind of not on the shakedown, but just outside of the shakedown. Can't remember their names. They both started with J. And it was one kid's first show. He had never been to a Phish show. The other one had been like a handful of times and stuff. He'd been seeing him for a while, but didn't do the whole like extended tour thing. Just would see him like kind of sporadically, and he's been doing that for a while. So I was talking to them. I just hung out with them for a good, 20 minutes or so before I decided to head in. Some guy walked by, gave me a free Hampton '09 shower curtain, by the way. But maybe I'll do some sort of video where I just show all the freebies I got from the tour or something like that another time. So anyway, back to the story. I met these 2 kids hanging out, just talking, chatting with them about, other bands and music and what shows they'd seen, and the parking lot shakedown scene, all that stuff just in general, how awesome it is. And, kind of got into explaining why I'm doing the documentary, and, because I just think it's something that should be preserved because it's such a unique part of American history, American music history at least, that's kind of, I mean, it's big, but it's still kind of underground. And I think it should be just recorded in some format, captured. So anyway, enough about me. Anyway, these kids, they showed up. They didn't have tickets. No tickets for the show. Super hard tickets to get. It was about 7:30 now. Start walking into the venue. I walk up with them, up to like the line to where you go to get in. And we scouted out. I was like, I gotta get you guys in, man. Like, I'm gonna wait till the last minute. If there's anything I can do to help to get you guys in, I'm gonna try. So we walk around the venue like 3 or 4 times, looking at all the entrances, seeing if there's any way they could get in. And they had it pretty locked down. I think they knew from the other nights. Apparently people were hopping the rails to get in there, and they just weren't really having it this night. It just got to the point where I just had to go in because it was like 8 o'clock now. I didn't want to miss the show myself, but I kind of did everything in my power to try to get them in. And there's just no way, to my knowledge, that they'd be able to get in unless someone just randomly miracled them or something. So fast forward now to the end of the show. I'll go through and I'll do the music kind of stuff later, but I want to finish this story and keep it one cohesive thing. I end up going back to the parking lot after the show. I was giving my buddies a ride home, so they're coming with me to my car. And I know where those kids were parked because we were hanging out there before the show. You know, they're like, come by after, you know. So I'm like, all right. So I stop over and I see them and they're like, we got in. I'm like, no. I'm like, how did you get in? There's no way. And then they told me, this is like one of those wild, like another like something you'd see out of a movie. They had like, I think they had like $40 or something. It wasn't even in like a price of a ticket. They found a garbage guy, like a guy with wheeling around trash cans. And they went up to him and they're like, hey, we'll give you $40 if you can get us into the show, if you have any way. So he's like, all right. They hopped in a couple trash bins. Garbage dude wheeled them right up past the entry gate, past the people taking tickets, the cops, security, all that stuff. Wheeled them right up, turned them right into the main smoking section where there's probably a good at least 30 to 50 people standing outside just smoking or whatever before the show, and just let them out right there in the middle of the crowd. And they jumped out of the trash cans. They said everyone around them were just like cheering. They were getting, you know, like they couldn't believe it. They just, you know, some guy just wheeled up 2 trash cans and 2 kids jumped out, got into a sold out show. So that was absolutely hilarious. Something worth mentioning again. So if you two are watching this, leave a comment or something. I think that's absolutely hilarious and just a classic story. And I wanted to share it with everybody else. And you can confirm it to let them know it's true and I'm not BSing. So I didn't know anything about this while the show was going on. It was kind of left like unresolved to me. So glad I met up with them after and found out that, you know, they got in, which is awesome. But about the show for me, I got in, met my Providence buddies. We're at the same spot as the night before. We were on Mike's side, very like the first row in the 200s. And I noticed like right when the band came out that there was this woman dressed in like a hot dog vendor outfit. Like I thought she'd worked there, but she's just wearing the whole getup, you know, like white shirt, like the white hat, the box, you know, that they sell the hot dogs out of, with empty like fake ketchup, mustard, condiment things. I just thought it was hilarious because she was just getting down the whole first set. Like she was dancing hard. Like it'd be one thing just to see someone dressed up as a hot dog vendor, like that's funny, but this chick was just like going to town dancing, and it was so funny to see as well. I just thought that was hilarious. I had to get a picture with her during set break, and that was actually the only actual picture I got the entire tour, despite walking around the whole tour with a $2,000 camera rig. I only got one picture from my smartphone, but that's it. Thought it was hilarious. And I guess now we'll talk about the music. So to open up first set, first song of the show, Sigma Oasis debut. Really cool. Did that and Buried Alive. Get everyone amped up. Bunch of great tunes this whole first set. Not going to go through all of them. They did The Curtain Without, which I thought was great because the 9-year-old kid I had met on Lot, I was like, what do you want to see at this show? And he's like, oh, well, I want to see The Curtain. Just The Curtain, not The Curtain With, because the last time I played that was that, you know, like he was like, he knew how like much of a bust out it was. And I was like, yeah, I mean, they haven't played that yet. They haven't been doing repeats, so maybe they'll do it. I don't know. They've always been doing it with the with at the end of it. So I don't know how likely that is, but awesome. Glad he got it. Finally got my Alumni Blues into Letter to Jimmy Page, back into Alumni Blues. Been wanting to see that one for a while. I graduated from college the spring of, you know, right before Curveball. That was the one show I was planning to do like that whole summer because I was broke. I was in college, you know, I had to put myself through school. I really wanted to play it then. I was like, that'd be just so great. Graduate and then hear that at Curveball. But I mean, we all know how that went. So I was raging for that. I was getting down hard, despite the Wook flu. Did not care. Very hyped to see that. Then, you know, It's Ice. Great tune to see. I always like to see that. Kind of a rarity. Walls of the Cave. Close that out. Damn. Alright, so my camera just died. I'd finished it. Now I'm back again. Do it all over again till the end of the video again. Set 2. Played after midnight. I think that's a nod for them telling us they were going to go over curfew because they went a few minutes over, which is fine with me. I'm not complaining. But I think that might have been what that was going to reference. Stealing Time from the Faulty Plan. Jam that out. I don't think I'd ever seen one jammed out, so that was fun. energy into Soul Planet. I say this in every video, but I'm not going to go through every single song. Then Petrichor came. I enjoy Petrichor. I think it's a really nicely composed tune. It's kind of like Reba or Fluffhead, or, you know, a lot of like that really old super compositional stuff Trey was writing back at the time. And it just reminds me of those tunes because it's just one composed section going into the next, into the next, into the next. It's like a story or like a movie or something where it just keeps going into new areas. And doesn't necessarily go back and refer to other areas. It just kind of keeps going into new stuff. And I really like that. It's really progressive stuff. Apparently, I listened to it on the ride up. I listened to the whole show. Keep me fresh. Some guy just like screamed right at the beginning when he saw, before the song even started. I think Fishman got up to go to the marimba, and he just screams like, "No!" I'm like, why would you do that? That's my question. I just don't understand. If you don't like a tune, go to the bathroom. Go get a drink. Get some food. Stand there quietly like I think most people do. But why would you scream no at the top of your lungs? It's loud enough. It came through in the recording. So now every time anybody wants to go back and listen to that memory, they're going to hear you screaming no at the beginning of it because you don't like the song. I'm pretty sure the band could hear you screaming it too, because I think if you screamed that loud and it came up on the live Phish recording, the odds are that they probably heard you as well. So congrats on maybe making them feel bad for a split second there. But while I'm on that note, shout out to the people who had the play whatever the F you want sign out in the crowd. That's kind of my mentality. Of course, there's songs I like more than others. There's songs that maybe I'm not in the mood to want to hear, but I'm not going to let it ruin my time if I don't want to hear it there. And I definitely don't want to be the person who makes it ruin other people's time by screaming no at the top of my lungs. And so I don't think I'm being too harsh on this person. I don't know who you are, but why would you do that? I don't understand. So the rest of the second set was fun. Boogie On, and then, you know, a few more songs in the second set. The second set came to an end, and then they went to the encore. Started off Pebbles and Marbles. Always love to hear that tune. Love that entire album. Kind of a rarity, so it's just really good to see, especially in the encore slot. We're just not expecting it. Beneath Sea Stars Part 1. I was there at Mohegan Sun when they played it there and like really jammed it out and took it for a ride. People say it's kind of like Phish's equivalent to Grateful Dead's Dark Star. It's got that real spacey, kind of ethereal, floaty, kind of dreamy vibe to it. It's hard to put it into words, but like the jam section in it especially is like not really like anything Phish does in their jamming styles. I mean, the way they've been playing it just kind of floats along. It's doesn't necessarily have like a big exclamation point peak to it at parts throughout it. It's definitely something unique, especially compared to all of the more songy stuff Trey's been writing lately. They jammed it a little bit. They do like a massive jam like they did at Mohegan. I mean, it's in the encore slot, and they played some more after it, so I could see why, but I enjoyed it. After that, Isabella. Everyone loves Isabella. Gets you really going, especially like right towards the end. You think it's gonna end the show, you're getting all amped up, just raging to it. The whole section was getting down to it. Might have been a nod to the Island Tour, where they encored with it then. That might just be my speculation though. I don't know. But I think everybody likes Isabella. And then they end everything with a Chalk Dust Torture reprise. I think they played that 2 times ever. Most recent was in the year 2000. People had said that they had been sound checking it at Providence. I completely forgot about this. I remember someone mentioned it at the Met, and I'd heard about it before then, so I was thinking then. And then that was the last time I even had the thought in my mind that that was even a tune that existed. Like, I completely forgot about it. So that came out of nowhere. Really nice cap, nice way to end it. Nice lighthearted, fun, kind of rockin' kind of tune. And then cap it all off with the Plasma ending that they were doing from the first night in Providence. So very nice way to end the tour. Very unique tour. I think they played like 195 plus songs or something like that. Not a single repeat, 8 shows, 16 sets. Really just every show was just fresh. Everything beginning to end, it was fresh. So hats off to you, Phish. Really enjoyed it, really had a good time. It's like the Baker's Dozen again. And then after the show, went back, saw those dudes I was talking about. They got into the trash can, and Gave my buddies a ride back, the Providence guys, to their hotel. Said my goodbyes to them. And then slept in my hotel, woke up yesterday. Drove maybe 6-7 hours yesterday with a few stops. I stopped a few times. Got a hotel over by, I think it was King's Dominion. Woke up today, hit the road at 11. Got home at about 9:30 or so. Home now. Time to recover from this book flu. Thank you guys for checking out the dispatches if you've been watching all the other ones. If not, they're there if you want to go see them. Every show I did one. But the main focus of this whole project I've been doing is the documentary. I've been showing you guys little slivers of the B-roll and interviews that I've done. But I've been saving it all for the documentary. I barely put anything that I've captured in these videos as B-roll. So I have over 300 gigs of footage, 1080p footage, not 4K footage. 300 gigs of 1080p footage. That's all like interviews, B-roll, some travel shots, stuff that I'm gonna put together into a fall tour documentary that is really just focused on the lost scene. I'm just gonna put all that together into one documentary type thing. I might do a couple. I'll do like an edit, and then I was thinking maybe do like a kind of like a raw, unedited interviews where it's just all the interviews without. I'll probably make cuts to the interviews to keep it more interesting. Cut out sections of like me asking questions or people saying or I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I'll probably do a separate video where it's all raw, unedited interviews of all the ones I've got. I couldn't tell you how long it's going to take for me to edit this stuff, but I'm very excited to get into it, get it going. It's not something I'm going to let sit on the back burner, and I hope to get it to you guys as soon as I can. But in the meanwhile, there's the dispatch videos. I'll probably make other videos here in the meanwhile while I'm working on that, because that's going to be like a long-term project, because that's a lot to go through, honestly. And I don't even know where to begin to start. But I'm very excited to do it. Thank you to everyone I've seen on tour. I did an interview. Let me take shots of like your shop you set up to vend out of. Anyone that I've seen this whole tour that never got on camera, which is really nice. It was really nice to meet you guys. So much fun. I do it all again. I just love the Phish tour. I love the lot scene. I love the community. And thank you guys so much for checking this out. That's enough of me rambling on this one. I have another video up sometime soonish for you guys. I might take a few days off to kind of recoup, get rid of this book flu. But you'll be hearing from me. But I'll try to find some other stuff to cover as well. I love Phish, but there's so much other stuff out there. Music, artists, individuals. There's just so much out there in the music scene and like the jam band scene that I think should be covered as well. So hopefully I can find some stuff to do as well. In the meanwhile, you can like this video, you can comment on it. I'd love it if you subscribed, share it. You can hit the notification button. That way you can see when the new videos that I make come out. And to all of those whose number I did get during this tour, I will contact you before the video is released. That way you can know where to find it and all of that stuff. So that's enough of me rambling. Had an amazing tour, had such a great time, met so many great people. I know you guys did too, and I hope everyone got home safe. So until next time, I'm Jake, and we'll see you on the next lot.